Hey, old 118 Set Shadow here. Let's go ahead and get straight into today's market watch. Starting with, well, I guess talking a little bit more about a theme on it. There's really no theme this time around. It's just a bunch of different things that are moving based off of recent news, as well as some decks that are going into the current English format with set 5 now out. So the first thing to talk about though is that the SP of Trick Moon from set 4 finally saw its buyout, and now there's only one listing on the market at $100 with 4 copies. And as for what we're looking at in terms of how the sales are going, I mean, let's see. Latest ones have gone all the way up to $29. More specifically, the recent sales that we saw were all just before Christmas. And so this card is now back up. And we're just going to have to see what Bosa does. If it turns out to be pretty good, I can imagine Trick Moon at least coming back on for a lot more than it was selling for. Suppress Gleamer's SP. This is an Aura Battle Princess card, so it's Seraph support. This one is actually pretty cheap right now for its SP at about $4 to start off with, but 7 listings on the market. This was a good tech when Seraph first came out, so it was a pretty expensive one. And even with new support coming here and there, Suppress Gleamer is not a bad card to pick from for maintaining board presence. In terms of where the sales are, we're not seeing any new volume on the card. And right now, in terms of what's available, it's mostly just $5 for most of the listings. There is one at $35, but that is way up there at this point. Then you've got the World Origin Dark States Heal trigger that comes from set 5. It's Sensuality Elixir Favoronia, and this is also a misprint, and I don't think there have ever been any corrected copies, but this card does not have a shield on the left side, and on top of that, it's a World Origin. I don't even know if Bushiroad ever did a recall campaign on this to give you the corrected version either. But in any case, this card has been moving up and down in terms of buyouts and price, and right now, low on this is about $25. And there's been a bit of volume pickup in this month, and in the last 3 months, it's been a high of 25. And right now, the listings go from $25 all the way to $35. Just a little talk on Blaster Dark that originally came out of set 2 and also had a reprint in set 5. The holofoil from set 5 is actually short on listings right now at about $4, almost $5. Yet the holofoil from set 2 is only around $2 right now and has much more listings available on the market. Then you've got the SP variant, which also comes from set 2. $36 is the base price. Market price is almost $25. And we've got 5 listings on that one. And as for the rares, if you're just looking for the rares, they are 50 cents and under, but the market prices are around 50 cents. Tet Vault has been falling out further and now has a base price underneath the $30 mark. But the card itself is still pretty expensive, and the Cater Pile is still a viable solution for any Cater deck right now. Even Reziel Vita can utilize it if you don't have Valtrosas and so forth, but it's a little more inconsistent in terms of shield then. In terms of where it's at, the market price has been having a fallout to 26 from almost $40. And when we look at listings that are available right now, they range from 29 to 30. And there's only one play set, which is lightly played. Otherwise, it's mostly single or double copies. Grigale has been seeing a buyout on its high rarity versions. Vartex's FFR is completely off the market at a market price of 15. And then you've got the original FFR, which is not off the market, but 5 listings starting from $25, but a market price that is almost $7. And the DSR has a market price of almost $34, but this one has been bought out to the point of $95. Now, I don't anticipate Grigale is going to be played in the newer variant, given that it looks like it's supposed to be a redemption version, So I assume it's just a brand new Grifogila that will play completely differently from the original, but we'll just have to see what gets announced once Sephora, I do not remember the name. When the newer variant is announced, we'll see what it does. As for the regular versions, regular Grifogila is at $2 right now, while Vartex is actually at $3. Then Kanon Schnellker, which is a tech option to play an Impaldio right now. I haven't been covering this one in a while, and honestly, I haven't really seen it played in many decks yet, so I still don't know why it's so short on listings. I mean, Panther Ray makes sense, but I really haven't seen too many players play this one. In any case, Schnellker is $8 base for its regular promo, $15 for its hot stamp variant. Market prices on both of them are in the $5 range, so doesn't look like there has been as much selling on these, and prices have been coming down where this thing had been bought up for a while. One of Shoujo Doji's newer support cards that came in our latest tournament promo pack, Stealth Dragon Dojun. Not selling very well. Market price is currently at $10, but there are 25 listings on it, starting from almost $4. And the foil version that's as low as $5, but hasn't even sold once yet. Something that is really moving, though, is Savoid. This is for Edglima, the Bat deck, and we don't have any copies of the 2024 Festival Booster variant. We have 2 copies on the original promo starting from 23, but a market price of 9. And then the foil version of this card from the promo variant is $35, but only 1 listing. That one's also at a market price of almost $10. Mind you, the foil promo and the festival booster use the same overall foiling, so there really isn't any significant value in picking up one over the other outside of the foil being less printed. Another thing that the Bat deck is eyeing these days is Aiding Monster Tektien. Now this one doesn't really have a buyout right now because there are so many listings on this one and 6 printings including 2 full art foils. The card is easy to pick up at less than 50 cents right now. Most market prices range from 30 to 50 cents. The only exception is the original holo foil from set 5 that has a market price of $1 and 75 cents is the lowest base price. But that has 20 listings altogether. So while there's no buyout at this point, I would still pay attention to the foils in case we see a lot more play of this one in bats. Then we have the Dark Over Trigger, Nixalesia, which this, along with the Light Over Trigger, are both confirmed reprinted as part of DivineZ 7, but we aren't getting DivineZ 7 until much later next year. So right now, the current cost is just kind of gonna stick, in my opinion. We have a base price of $13.50 on this one, and the market price is about $12.50. The market price has been climbing back up from... It's not too big of a gain. $10.50 all the way to $12.56, so only a few dollars. But thanks to the reprint announcement, I would imagine that the price is just gonna hold around $15 or less. Valtrosa and Leo, well, this one has been a big contender right now for playing in Reziel, and with Messiah getting more support and popularity in the next set, we could definitely see Valtrosa Leo get played in there again too. At this point, there's a low at 40. Market price has really been skyrocketing with volume decreasing. $54 for the market price, and there's only one $40 listing right now. After that, it's a $60 card plus. Not much of a surprise on that one. Then we've got Azure Sky, White Scale, Asperonia, Saphira, which is primarily for Pyro, Levidrus, and I think Night Rose might consider this as well, and that's coming next month. So right now we've got a base price of $70 with 5 listings, and in addition to that, when we take a look at any of the details, market price has basically been on a massive increase. Even midway through November, it was an increase from 40 to 63. And right now, all copies are at least $70, with only one seller at $80 per copy. There's also Steam Performer Togue, which this is anticipation for Harry. That's also coming next month. This could also have premium implications as a result too. But Togue has been bought out to the point of a base of $15 on the Festival 2024 reprint, and then the original promos are around $20 a piece. The foil is a little bit cheaper on the base listing, but the market price is definitely the highest for the original promo foil. Then there's Nebula Invoke Dragon for Impaldio. I was talking about the grade 3 that had been short on listings recently, which also gets played in Impaldio. Now you have Nebula Invoke, which is just over 10 listings, and the market price has been on a downtrend since release, but it's been creeping back up there, and base listings are now $2. They'll occasionally come back for just a few cents, but otherwise, it looks like they may just continue to increase its price, and given that Impaldio is definitely going to get more support with the Deluxe series, that could push this value higher later on. Gabelus from DivineZ 5 is under $10 and 14 listings right now. 1 or 2 copies you'll typically play for Rezile, and you can play it in Amorta too, but you might end up playing 4 copies of it in that case. So right now, $9 for the base price, and market price is currently just above 7. In terms of availability, we're looking at $9 to $10 with a number of copies available at that rate. Then you've also got Anarchist Dragon, which is specific to Leo Odium. This one is just under $10 on its base listing with 15 listings on the market. And market price on this one is about $9. But when it comes to availability, we're looking at $9, and then it just goes back up to over $10. And the quantities are consolidated more so around the $10 mark. And that leads to a point of what's happening with DivineZ 5 right now. When it comes to the boxes, they're bought out to the point of about $62 now, and yet the singles are really not taking off. We're seeing a conflict between just low quantity, but the prices are staying pretty stagnant right now. And as we continue to move into January, while still in the BCS series, we have Night Rose and Harry coming along, which could also change up just what people want to play. So it's kind of hard to tell if there'll be more massive spikes. I still feel like there will be, because even with the Stride deck sets, DivineZ 5 has been a pretty strong force in the Japanese meta under the same conditions. Boxes, as I mentioned, are around 62 for the baseline, and given that they have a higher MSRP than the other sets, this actually makes more sense now, given that the pre-order prices for these were usually in the $50 range. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.